we'll start off with the main event though. So we had Derrick Lewis versus Rodrigo Nascimento.
Yeah. I mean, going into this one, like we were just kind of talking about we talked about it last week too. The main event, I mean, it's interesting just because it's a Derrick Lewis fight. He brings some type of energy to it no matter what, and some
He's a
excitement.
well-known name.
Yeah. The matchup itself, maybe not the most exciting, but that being said, going through the card, they stacked this up pretty nicely. There was a lot of really fun matchups throughout this card.
Matchmakers did a good job in this card.
From the first one, dude. Veronica, I
Yeah.
love Veronica Hardy, dude. Her and Dan Hardy, their podcast together is so sick. It's so cool watching Dan Hardy in the corner, right? Like he's such a good analyst, such a good like MMA brain. So that was cool to start the card with that, and then throughout the card there was just fun stuff all around. But yeah, Derrick Lewis, Rodrigo Nascimento. Who did you have going into this one, by the way?
Oh, Derrick Lewis.
Yeah.
Derrick Lewis, dude. And look, no disrespect to Rodrigo Nascimento, but with Derrick Lewis, it's just a waiting game. And
Yeah.
but he did surprise me in this one.
With
In the
this trip?
clinch, he goes for
Look
the
at him.
trip, and you're like, oh man, Derrick Lewis showing that he's not a one-dimensional fighter. He's
Yeah.
coming in and trying to grapple and trying to clinch, hence the word trying. He missed a couple of those trips, but A for effort.
Hey, he got one. He got one.
He did. And he's got Nascimento thinking now, like, oh, I thought he was just gonna be a brawler. I'm gonna have to
Swing and bang.
sprawl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to sprawl and brawl. But look, Derrick Lewis, he has those little small baby steps where he keeps the right hand just cocked, ready to go. Right? It's just a matter of time before he lands a right hand. Rodrigo Nascimento had a couple of shots, man. I was actually surprised by chin in the beginning of the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, they traded for a bit, and usually you don't get that in a Derrick Lewis fight. Usually
you don't get that.
Usually it's a couple and someone's down.
Yes. And you never know, because with Derrick Lewis, he's been caught before, right? Like, who was it against Ty?
Yeah.
It's just, you just never know. But look, it's just a matter of time. That right hand lands on you, and whether it's on the chin or whether it's above the ear, right by the temple, if you get caught by a Derrick Lewis right hand, you're in trouble, bro.
Yeah, and he did a good job too. I mean, Nascimento had him on the ground for a bit, and I was like, oh no, back to the Gelton Almeida fight. But good
against.
I know it's a meme.
Almeida.
The whole like, he's always been like the jiu-jitsu isn't real, just stand up, But like he does little things to outposition you so that he can get up. It's not like he's just standing. It looks like he's just standing up.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because sometimes it looks like it's just brute force and just straight strength. Because he's like the Undertaker, dude. Like where somebody's laying on top of him, he just sits up and just like body presses him off of him. Just dude, it's nuts how he does that. But
he does a good job.
It's not
just that simple,
Almeida had his back.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of top control, and Derrick Lewis has underrated jiu-jitsu defense.
Yeah. He doesn't have great choke defense, but he does little things that I think surprises people, and he's never really like showed it off, so that I feel like people just don't expect it from him, And he's strong. Like you said, it looks like he's just body pressing people off of him. Like there's an extent of strength that allows him to get up. Like that works, but he also, he gets his like hand in the armpit. He'll tuck the other side, wrist control with the other side, and then lift up, frame off into that armpit to get some space. Like he does little things really well, but they're also, you add that with the fact that he also is very strong. Like that works for him. Shout out Austin. Says, can't stay for the stream. Unfortunately, have a busy night, but I really hope it goes well, gentlemen. So happy for Lewis got the W. My balls was hot. It's a top 5 MMA moment. Dude's hilarious. Yeah, shout out Austin. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, shout out Austin, man.
Appreciate
Absolutely. But that is an all-time great moment. Sometimes it has felt like after that, like it's a little forced on the mic, but dude's still hilarious.
I mean, so he knocks him out with the overhand right. I think it was on the temple. As Nascimento's kind of turning away, not the best move against someone like Derrick Lewis. You kind of have to, as scary as it is, you got to stay in the pocket. You can't just turn away. You got caught. Takes his shorts off, fans him off with the shorts, walks around, moons the crowd real quick, pulls his ass out to the crowd,
That was
Pulls his
interesting,
cup
huh?
pulls his cup out, throws it at a reporter. You know, like you said, there's always something post fight. There's always
Always.
something.
How about a reporter afterwards said something like, it surprisingly, the cup didn't smell or something like that, and it's like,
Yeah,
"What?"
yeah. He also
Like,
used part of the press conference to ask Dana to sign the cup. Dana's like, "What the fuck, dude?"
did Dana
The-
sign it?
he said he would because he's like, "Why don't you get Derrick Lewis to sign it?" He's like, "I already did." And he's like, "All right, maybe I will then." Yeah.
Hey, Ganscow making a great point, said that people love KOs and no one has more than Derrick Lewis. Look, man,
Also,
heavyweight fight.
real quick shout out to Matt Brown, retired in between our last episode and this episode, and I think he was
Oh, snaps.
the I think he's in second place for most knockouts. Shout out Matt Brown,
Snaps.
the immortal.
Yeah, and, overall finishes is still, Oliveira, the Bronx?
I think so. I think so. I could be wrong.
I think it
I
is.
think so.
But, yeah, Ganskow says, right, like he was talking about the people who love KOs. Something about just heavyweight fighters, man. When you're on pins and needles and you know it could be done at any moment. It
Any
could be over
second.
at any moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just makes it more fun to watch. Ganskow says Dana signed it right after too,
Yeah.
and that's cool, Dana. I wonder how he signed it though. Did he like tell somebody to just leave it on the table, I'll sign it real quick? Did he actually, like grab it,
Yeah.
sign it? That's kind of
He did it with transfer paper. He signed something, someone else took that and pressed it onto it for him. But the
classic.
whole MMA
Dana thinks
media
of
is in
everything.
a yeah, MMA media is in a civil war right now because of this post-fight press conference. There's
Why?
people are out of arms. Because there's a lady, Dana does the PBR stuff now. Real quick, hey, shout out to Ghost. Hey, what's up? How funny was Field running face first into the fence? Yeah, we will talk about that. We'll definitely talk about that coming up because it was hilarious. But yeah, like and Ganskow's alluding to, I defend the girl. You know how Dana does the PBR stuff now? He's got that bowl, Twisted Steel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's the one that Cowboy was trying to ride or whatever, and he ended up
I
jacking up
guess
his
I
arm.
didn't know about that until this press conference. A lady was at the press conference and asked Dana. She was like, "Hey, so you may see I'm wearing Cowboys BMF hat, his merch, and I had a bet with him that if he did actually get on Twisted Steel, then I'd let him brand BMF on my shoulder. But now that he can't, I still want to do it. So can you set that up?" And Dana was like, "What?" And then he was like, "I don't. Why would you do that?" And they're talking about it, all this stuff. They're going back and forth, and MMA media is like, "What is the state of our field? What are we doing when this is the press conferences for the UFC? Is this instead of questions about the fights or questions about the business? Where
Yeah, yeah.
every other sport, you look at like NBA press conferences, NFL press conferences, it's all about like the sport more so than whatever else they're doing." Um, Gasca says Abby Wagner is legit. I'm guessing that's who the lady was. I'm not familiar with her. But Ariel went out on it. Ghost, what's he saying? Speaking of the girl at the presser, if you cover one of Dana's failed ventures, you can get a press pass. Just pretend. Hey, that's what we need to do, honestly, because they denied us. We were like, I mean, we're obviously not very big, but I don't know who she is. I never heard of her. Maybe she's way bigger. But in the MMA realm, I would have thought that I would at least know who the people are at the press conferences, but um, they denied us. So maybe I'm just a little jealous. Maybe I'm a little salty.
But look, dude, a lot of the MMA like show, like I know, like even when you think about the Reebok deal, how it started, they wanted to look more like a professional league. They wanted to have uniforms and all these different things, right? It's
Yeah, yeah.
just story of the slap incoming. Yeah,
I don't know.
that's the
There's
next
much
podcast.
analysis we can give on Power Slap.
We're like, look at the way he turned his hips and used his entire body and got really into it.
Yeah, and this guy
Full open
actually
palm
failed 4
extension.
drug tests, none of them performance enhancing.
All downers. Oh
Oh
man.
god.
No, but think about it. Like just for the longest time, even like the
Mhm.
CM Punk thing, right? Like there's just things
Yeah,
that we do within MMA that are
it's
outside of
different.
your regular
Yeah,
professional sports. It's different, man. There's a bunch of wild men and wild women that are in this sport. Why not, dude? Just let it be.
Yeah, Ghost says she's only got 700 followers, so she's not that big. Well, we've got 50 on Twitter and I think 300 on Instagram, so we're gonna have to double it.
Hey, but that being said, we are trying to reach 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. Shameless
Gotta
plug. So
count for
just let
something.
your friends and family know. We're
Gotta
doing all
count
right
for
on
something.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already saw this
All right.
picture of Darius Lewis in his underwear up right now. That's this whole talk.
Yeah, the
Rich
entire
isn't
time.
here, by the way. I'm on double duty tonight. But so I
Our producer.
apologize if there's random stuff
He's
like
busy.
that.
He's a busy man.
He's busy.
Highly sought after.
Busy boy.
Yeah. That's all I got on the main event. I mean, we ended
Yeah,
up
there's not
talking
too much.
about Derrick Lewis in his underwear. We talked about some lady getting branded. Story of the slap.
Complained about us not having press passes.
Yeah, that's our cue, man. It's time to move